Hello, my name is Susan Hillyard and I've written a book called English Through Drama, published by Helbing Languages. The book is really my life's work. I've been teaching English through drama for about 46 years in 5 different countries for quite long periods of time, ranging from 2 years to 29 years. And I have found this methodology, which I consider to be a personal pedagogy, which I have developed over all these years, to be really effective. And I thought it would be a good idea to spread the word on a global scale. And that's why I decided to be the author of such a book. This is my book, English Through Drama, and it has 6 sections. The first section is an introduction. The second section is the first chapter, which is about classroom management. The third section is really the bulk of the book, and that is a whole series of activities, about 98 activities, ranging through all the things that you can use, all the techniques that you can borrow from stagecraft to make English language classes more motivating and more effective. The 4th chapter is a series of lesson plans based on using these dramatic techniques in different themes. The 5th chapter is a whole series of very short, simple scripts that I have developed from picture books for primary students. And the last section is a bibliography and a reference section, so that anybody who wants to go in depth into this methodology has plenty of references to refer to. As I said, I've been doing this for 46 years. And I've worked with all kinds of abilities, from beginners to advanced levels, also with special needs students here in Buenos Aires, where I'm based. And I've worked with all ages, from kindergarten to adults, and all cultures and all religions. And it has worked for all of them. I trace the pioneering work of Dorothy Heathcote, who really introduced educational drama in Britain in the 60s when I was studying at Warwick University. I studied dramatic arts with a specialism in the sociology of education. And I have put that together with second language acquisition theory, and I have come up with this personal pedagogy. Dorothy Heathcote said that education should be both a joy and a challenge. And she explained that we were not doing theatricals with students. We were not doing the school play. We were not doing scripted work, in fact. We were doing educational drama, which is a way of moving any event, any happening, any incident, any argument through using the voice and the body and the mind and the spirit and the heart and the soul of every student in your classroom. And one of the things I really wanted to delve into in my book was the idea that we can have inclusive classrooms if we use drama. Drama is for everybody. So it's not just for the talented few who actually are skilled enough to take part in the school play, to go on stage and have the confidence to go on stage. What I wanted to do was to spread the word about confidence first, fluency second, and accuracy third, which is really the other way round from how most English language teachers work, because they're always afraid of fossilization. But I have found in my work that if we can have our students speaking with confidence, it really boosts their self-esteem, and then the whole thing becomes more motivating. They actually want to become fluent. They want to be able to speak in English, even if they're not accurate at the beginning. But what happens magically is that they want to become accurate. I also believe that drama is the spice of ELT. That is S for social development, P for physical development, I for intellectual development, C for creative development, and E for emotional development. And this is exactly what we do in drama. It really addresses every developmental part of the growing learner. When we do drama, we are sociable. We learn to resolve conflicts. We learn to live with other people, discussing our ideas, talking about what we want to do. So it's really learning by doing with other people. The only time we do drama on our own is when we do monologues. So I explain this in the first section. We work on physical development. We work on the whole learner so that we teach our students to walk well, to hold themselves well, to use the correct facial gestures, to use the correct limb gestures so that their gestures fit with the message through the words, so that the meaning gets across through using every part of the body. We also teach them, of course, to use their jaws, their tongue, all the things which are implied in teaching pronunciation, but we do it in an exciting way, not through simply drill. We are very concerned with cognitive development, and this is what I call intellectual development. We are working with the arts and we are working with thinking skills. So when we do drama, we are always developing the students' understanding of the human condition, the students' understanding of what life is all about and how relationships matter and how we need to think about what we are saying and what we are doing. And of course, everything in drama is really involved in developing their creative spirit. We cannot do drama without being creative. It's impossible. And what we find, at least what I have found in the past, is that once teachers start learning how to be creative, they can be creative in all kinds of ways so that they can really develop their own pedagogy according to the class they are teaching, according to their own context. And this is very important for me. They can take their textbooks and they can develop activities which are creative within the format of the textbook. So they are following the syllabus, they are following the curriculum, but they are using drama activities to develop the students' understanding. And then we go to emotional development. Most classrooms seem to deny the emotions of their students. In drama, we do the opposite. We work on role play and improvisation, and we discuss why people feel like they feel. And we express those feelings through what we do with our bodies, our faces, our voices. And students begin to understand how other people feel. And in the process, they begin to understand how they feel too. And so we are working on different levels. And this is what drama does. It really develops all the skills the students need to go out into the big, beautiful world when they leave school and use the English language to effect. So the introduction traces all this theory. It summarizes it in such a way that it's very easy for the teachers to understand. It is thorough, but it is also simplified. And then I go on to explaining why drama is a fantastic benefit for students who have learning difficulties. In drama, we encourage the students to put on a mask. And in putting on the mask, they can hide from themselves just for a moment. So we really bring joy to our students who have learning difficulties. And in doing that, we help them, paradoxically, to understand themselves. I have seen this work in countless situations, and I can promise you that it is effective with almost any kind of moderate learning difficulties. I have even worked with students with severe learning difficulties with this pedagogy, and I have found that it has been able to transform part of their lives, at least. After the introduction, I go on to classroom management, and I deal with that very, very thoroughly and very specifically, because I think if teachers are going to work with this kind of methodology, then they really have to understand classroom management. It's not that the students are sitting in rows, working individually. They are working in a completely different way. We work with the speaking body in the empty space. And this is why, or another reason why, drama is so effective. What we do is we take away all the resources that are trappings in many classrooms, and we use all the resources that the teacher, with lots and lots of ideas, and the students bring to the classroom through the use of their imaginations. And one of the reasons why it works so well, or another reason why it works so well, is that the students understand all these concepts in their first language, in their home tongue. And then when we deal with it in English, they can transfer their understandings much more readily. So I go into the ways in which it can benefit students with learning difficulties. And in the classroom, we have to deal with them in very, very special ways. In fact, we have to deal with all our students in very special ways, because all our students are individuals and they all have their own special ways of working and their own special difficulties. So, in section 1 of chapter 3, I deal with brain gym, and body exercises. So I encourage teachers to be aware of the well-being of their own students, so that we have all our students feeling good about themselves, feeling good about learning the English language, and we have them embrace the English language so that they feel they want to come to class because they know they are going to be successful. They know they are going to have eureka moments where they feel good about what they're learning, and they also don't feel nervous or anxious. We take away the anxiety. I believe that the speech act itself is extremely psychological. And so we deal with well-being and, if you like, mindfulness. And so we have our students wanting to come to class. We use the whole body and the whole mind in a whole situation. Then, when they are feeling good, we work on all kinds of relaxation and concentration exercises, using the language in game-like situations so that the students are extending their feeling of well-being. We are concentrating it even further. In section 3 of chapter 2, I go on to talking about pronunciation and language games which deal with diction and which deal with real pronunciation in real situations. So we are looking at how students can learn to modulate, how they can speak in register according to the characters that they are playing. We are not interpreting literature, remember. We are not using scripts. We are using improvised situations. And in doing pronunciation in this way, we make it exciting, we make it fun. We may even do a little bit of reader's theatre. There's nothing wrong in that at all. And then in the 4th section of chapter 2, I go on to Fluency Games. And there we do quite complicated drama games which are used in the theatre to prepare actors and actresses to go on stage with confidence and to remember their lines. But we're not teaching lines, we're teaching the whole person. We're teaching the whole person to use the English language effectively. Then in chapter 3, I go on to whole lesson plans where I show how you can build a lesson plan from scratch using drama activities based on a particular theme. For example, it may be introducing ourselves through drama games so that we get to the point where the students can be confident and fluent in introducing themselves to other people in English. Or it might be a theme on, for example, using the computer. And we use a story and we do a whoosh on the story, and we have the students playing many games to get to the point where they understand that it's not good to be on the computer all day long, ignoring real people and ignoring your responsibilities. So it has a little bit of values inserted in the theme. And there are 6 themes altogether. And then in the final chapter, I have a whole set of 6 little scripts based on picture books for teachers who really need the hook. I really don't use scripts, and I don't propound the use of scripts either, but some teachers feel they need it. So I've taken storybooks which are used in lower primary, upper primary, and I've turned them into very simple scripts so that teachers can use those if they think it's really necessary. And then finally, I have the reference section and the bibliography. And so I hope that this book will be useful to you. I hope that you may take a look at it, and I hope that it will transform not only your professional lives, but also your personal lives. Because once we get into this kind of work, we ourselves feel that we are being fed the artistic, cultural aspects of our society, and also we begin to enjoy the spice of life and the spice of teaching English. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you somewhere in the world. Bye-bye for now. Bye.